Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more CNSL 5. Right now we are in Group C, and we're in the winner's match. It's going to be a best of 3 between MIHU, the best non-Korean player, an absolute baller of a Terran, going up against yabsab, one of the strongest up-and-coming Zergs at the moment. Now, as far as this match goes, I'm really excited because it is a best of 3. MIHU obviously played a nice game previously against Bale, but it was a little bit one-sided, right? Bale lost track of his Marines, and he just got a very quick and easy advantage that was not too hard for him to close out. I think against yabsab, it's going to be a lot harder. Yabsab is very, very, very strong. We do cast actually a fair amount of his games on this channel, but he's like one of the real rising stars of Zerg right now. So I think he is going to be a little bit favored. But of course, it is going to take just a little bit for this game to really get started. So I do want to thank you guys for tuning into ArtosisCasts. Please do make sure that you hit that subscribe button and of course the notification bell every single day. We have, a new game uploaded between a couple of pro gamers. Even started throwing up some shorts there of some of the best moments as well for you guys to enjoy. And of course, thank you to everyone who has signed up to help out on the Patreon. You can check that out, patreon.com/Artosis. A big thanks to all of you who have signed up for that. And yeah, here we get going. Right now, it looks like it's going to be a hatchery first, just a fast expansion from yabsab. We'll see if he goes directly into pool and gas as expected. Over on MIHU's side, the barracks starts out, and we do not see a gas come up. So very straightforward barracks expansion should be coming from him. Very likely a second depot one as well, but it is possible that he tries to go for a 1 depot expand. Now there's the pool, there's the gas. And that means that everything is going to be pretty normally timed. This is going to be a 2-hatch. This is going to be a slightly faster layer, I think, based on the start time of this gas. Like maybe just below like a 250 layer, right? Like a 248 layer, something like that. So that's actually like very, very fast. It's a very aggressive opener, right? Like if you can ever get there right before the turrets are up or, well before the turrets are up, that can be a huge, huge deal. But we'll keep an eye on exactly when that layer starts and if he wants to go directly in that way. Sometimes you get that gas start a little bit early as well, just to get Zergling speed out quicker and do some aggressive plays with that. Now, looks like just the standard expansion that we were talking about from MIHU, a single Marine. We'll see if he goes into quick gas here or he goes into a second barracks. I think the second barracks is likely. He pulls the SCV out. And here's the thing about Butter. This is a very, very wide open choke, right? So either you have some sort of wall here where it's a little bit thinner, or you're back close to your command center where it's really, really wide. Here he doesn't have the wall, so it's a little bit harder to defend. That means, like, I like when it's wider like this to go 2 barracks, because if they do go for that quick Zergling speed, and we do see that here, by the way, very, very quick Zergling speed, it can be very hard to end up holding onto this, especially with 1 barracks production. And you can see that MIHU as well getting that academy very quickly along with the gas. So it is a 2 barracks academy rush as expected. No quick engineering bay or anything this game. You definitely got to account for the differences in shapes of these naturals. Now, it looks like he's going to build a bunker. That's a pretty far out bunker. We'll see. Like, I guess if he's going to produce Marines non-stop. See, this is the thing, right? Like, we have the 2 barracks, and he's not quite able to keep that production up too high. We'll see how many lings get made from yabsab, if he's going to be able to do any damage, if he's going to try to do any damage. His 2 lings run up and see the bunker, so automatically you're thinking, oh, maybe we should not attack. If he makes a lot of lings and goes up and it gets stopped, obviously you're very, very far behind. But sometimes when people make bunkers, they undermake the Marines. You can see, again, this is not a lot of Marine production. Starts a couple medics, and, it's not that this is very far off of what you should have, but if there had been a huge pool of lings, would it be able to break through here? Well, if it had hit after this came out, probably not. So, solid defense there from MIHU. 3rd hatchery on location from yabsab, as is normal with such a fast layer. You want to get that 3rd base mining pretty quickly. We'll see if MIHU tries to move out. 7 Marines and 2 medics moving out before 5 minutes is pretty solid. You can technically have 8 Marines if you nail your build exactly. But he's actually just pushing out a little tiny bit. It looks like he's a little bit nervous about going forward. You know, if you don't have stim and you walk forward and they have, like, behind this a whole another group, like another 12 lings or so, you lose everything and you get really far behind. So MIHU'S playing it very, very carefully at the moment. He is popping out some more Marines. We have that engineering bay going with that +1 attack. Range should be next. Turrets starting up. A few more Marines coming out to join this Bioforce. And... well, we're going to see 7 mutas, 8 mutas on the way, as well as that +1 attack. So definitely yabsab going to go hard on this harassment. When you see that attack upgrade, very, very popular against Terran to get the attack upgrade. Just get that extra damage being dealt consistently. But MIHU'S getting his turrets up at pretty good times. I really like that turret because this is a place that mutas love to abuse. And in fact, he's going to make a second one. And then he's got this kind of bridging turret between these turrets and this one to make sure that this is not a free area. Because literally, if this wasn't here, the mutas would sit here and go back and forth. And it would be very hard to stop. I really think that MIHU has very high turret understanding. His turret IQ is really good. It sounds so dumb. I've never said that before or heard that, but it's like a real thing. Like knowing where to put your turrets to zone things correctly is like science and art put together, as so many things are in StarCraft. It's actually really complicated, but I really like the way he's gone about this. yabsab, though, killing off a few SCVs. Look at this, 25 SCVs to 25 drones. You really want like 31 to 35 SCVs to be mining efficiently. You know, that's when you have those numbers, you can kind of hit full production as Terran. When you don't have those numbers, you do have to replace them. So we should be seeing MIHU pump out SCVs here, maybe slow down his production of units a little bit more. yabsab controlling the game pretty well so far. MIHU is out front with this bio, but he's got to be careful because he only has 2 barracks. And when you only have 2 barracks, this is about as far as you can go with your Bioforce. Because if you go out on the map and you lose this, like 2 barracks won't replenish it fast enough to ever do anything. Okay? It's like you're so far behind at that point. So you really have to retain your bio when you are on 2 barracks production. Now, 2 starports are coming up. He is back up to 30 SCVs, still a little tiny bit low. We're going to see if he wants to go armory or not. He should be making the armory in just a moment if that's going to be the case. You know, he hasn't started the Sank of Gas, so you'd think it would be an armory. And yeah, we just see that armory gets started. Here it is. More turrets going up. But look at the SCV count, 27. yabsab is doing a really good job here, guys. Like a really good job. The fact that MIHU'S SCVs are this low, it's going to be very hard for him to continually afford making Marines and also 2 Valkyries at a time. Honestly, this game, if he was going to go Valkyrie, I have a very strong opinion here that I think that he should have gone 1 starport Valkyrie. And that would leave him open to go siege tank if he needs it. Here, it's going to be hard to afford 2 starport Valkyries. Valkyries are very expensive at 250 minerals and 125 gas, as well as 3 supply apiece. So it's going to be hard to produce all that. And like, not only is it hard to produce 2 Valkyries at a time, like, look, these add-ons are finishing, and this is going to finish. We still have this, the mutas coming in. Oh my god, he actually dives with more mutas. MIHU gets back just totally fine from that. But look, here's 1 Valkyrie making. Having a hard time. Okay, starts the 2nd Valkyrie. But look, not producing, trying to get more barracks out. It's tough. This is a very tough balance. He finally does have a reasonable SCV count here once again at 35. But the mutas are going to continue harassing. I'm not sure exactly how many more SCVs they'll really get. As the 1st Valkyrie comes out and the 2nd Valkyrie comes out, the mutas are going to get shut down pretty hard. Some SCVs do get transferred back here from MIHU. He's trying to really maintain them at this point. You don't want to have to remake SCVs all game long. So there you have it. See, now he has the 2 Valkyries, and we can't make any more. There's just not enough money for 2 more. He's adding the more barracks, so it's... as you see, right, this is what happens when Zerg commits to that harassment and gets it. If you don't alter your build order a little bit, you can see how everything's kind of stunted. And now we have lurkers actually being created. Okay? No lurkers really out on the map as of yet. I'm checking all these little red dots. It looks like mostly just overlords out there. We have the Defiler Mound coming up, as well as another hatchery. Just a few lurkers look like they're going to be made. More carapace upgrades coming. And, like, the Valkyries will shut down the MIHU'S, right? That's pretty low, man. Another swipe of Valkyries, and you are going to be losing a lot of Mutalisks. And, in fact, MIHU throws down 2 dropships. Okay, kind of cool. I've definitely seen 4 Valkyrie into 2 dropship builds. Dropship builds are a little bit harder, again, with the 2 barracks openers because you don't have much bio. Like, look. He loaded them up, and what does he have left? Normally, you want your units to go onto the map to clear everything so the dropships can get through. And, like, he is, for instance, sending a Marine to try to clear over here, but this is, like, all that he has back at home. He has about 8 units, and everything else is here. So this is pretty strongly all in, whereas if you had done this a little bit later or off of more barracks, it's like, okay, it's not completely all in, but here, I feel like he's got to get some damage done. And I'm not sure that he's going to be able to. Scan goes down there. Lots of Mutas and Scourge, right? Like, this is yabsab being very, very smart. He's brought back all the hurt units. He's got some out front kind of watching, and MIHU is looking for a place to offload this bio. Okay, he goes into the natural, but 3 Lurkers gonna run up, so I don't know how much damage he'll actually get done here. The Mutas and Scourge come out to chase these down. More Lurkers burrowing, and it just doesn't seem like he's going to get much done. One of the Valkyries go down. The other one going to be targeted down here as well. Only ends up killing 1 Mutalisk. It looks like, oh, he might stop this +1 carapace, which would be kind of big. Oh, but he might not as well. It's so close to finishing. Oh, my God, and it does end up finishing. So he doesn't even get that. The dropships get out alive, and he saves 9 units out of the 16. But he lost the Valkyries, didn't really get any value with them. Yeah, I'm not liking the position for MIHU, to be honest. He is recovering slightly, right? He's got 37 SCVs. Okay, he's got double engineering bay going. Okay, that's great. Vessels are being produced, 5 barracks. This is considered full 2-base production, the 5 racks and 2 starports as well as 2 armories. So he's kind of got everything producing that he needs, but look at the supply differential. Yabsab has way more drones here, 50 to 40 right now, and more supply. That is not something you ever want to see in Terran vs. Zerg, but especially this early on. And looking at these positions, look at this. 4 mostly stacked Lurkers under an Overlord, so you can't even irradiate them. Here's one on that side. Oh, man, we're getting Plague, and we're getting Hydra speed and everything. So he's going into Hydra Lurker Defiler, which is already so difficult to play against. Like, the right way to play against this is to go mass tanks and expand a lot. And really, it doesn't feel like MIHU can do either of those at the moment. He's actually making a 2nd armory, which I'm not sure why, because he's got 1 armory and he's only got 1 factory. He's getting siege mode. Like, honestly, I don't think tank armor upgrades are something you want to get on 2 base here. Like, he's already kind of far behind. Maybe he's forgetting he has an armory. I think that's probably what it is. Anyways, he does start to push back. Yabsab coming up this hill, throwing down a single Dark Storm, 2nd Dark Storm. MIHU doing a very good job stopping the Scourge from killing his vessels, slowing down this push. But this is really deadly. This is one of the hardest things to play against right now as a Terran player. It's very hard to kill these. It's hard to defend. MIHU throws down his 3rd base on location. I love that he has a Marine over here, by the way, just making sure that another base doesn't go up without his knowing it. A little group here as well, just blocking another expansion. But he needs to slow down this incoming force and get a lot of siege tanks out. Let's take a look. 1 factory. He's adding a 6th barracks. And there is that +1 weapon, so you can see he just forgot he had that. Like, this is actually a common thing you see even with high-level StarCraft, where the opening strategy doesn't match up with how you continued because you had to kind of improvise a little bit. So he's not thinking about the Valkyries. They're such a small part of this game that he forgets that he even had the armory. So anyways, does get that +1 tank attack going. Looks like a little group of Lings coming over to the side. These do have the Adrenal upgrade and +1 carapace, so hopefully he gets that bunker down and gets his Marines inside if he wants to hold on against that harassment. Another little push up here, looking for some Plagues, looking for some Dark Swarms. The vessel comes up from the side, and that's actually a very good irradiate. Another good one as well, but they did get off the Dark Swarm. They did get off the Plague as well. So once again, MIHU getting pushed back to his 2 siege tanks and adding another barracks. This is an interesting way to play it. Oh, God, the Marines actually ended up dying to those lings, so not too good. He's got to send some more up there to save it. Looks like a little group over to the side. Ooh, this group catching those mutas. That's kind of nice. But yeah, the 4th base is coming up, and this looks pretty bad because it's mostly bio that he's focusing on, still making a lot of vessels and some siege tanks. Honestly, like, if you're going to play against this type of composition, you need to do things like lots of dropships. The science vessels are very hard to keep alive because Hydras will gun them down very easily. Also, irradiates on Hydras are very low value. So, yeah, it makes it a little bit tricky, right? Because the Hydras can easily zone out plagued vessels. The plagued vessels can't really get near them. Plus, it's very micro-intensive, where this is a very macro-intensive strategy. You've got to have a lot of units. You got to have a lot of stuff moving around. It's not as much about microing Marines, medics, and science vessels as some of the other strategies against Zerg are. So he spreads his tanks over to the side. He still has the 2 dropships, still making a lot of vessels. We'll see what he can do with the vessels. But yeah, once again, it's going to be difficult. You're getting those zoned out. You see how hurt these are. It takes a long time to repair them. A really long time. All right, throwing down some irradiates. Not too bad, not too bad. I think yabsab is being a little bit over-aggressive right now. But these are only small groups of units, and he has the 4 base. Look, Nidus Canal's going up. A Spore here as well. Spore's very strong with this strategy because you're plaguing things all game long. It's a huge backbone to Hydra, Lurker, Defiler. Lots of macro. 4 macro hatcheries here? Oh my God. Look how many hatches he has right now. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hatches out right now. Just macroing like crazy. He's got good upgrades. He's even getting into Ultralisk upgrades here. Looking very tough indeed. MIHU coming up, and even the Hydra's able to push back his bio for now. MIHU, though, does have a solid amount of SCVs. I'm getting a little bit nervous because these patches are drying up. These ones are going to go shortly thereafter. And I don't feel like he has a stable enough footing to get a 4th base. We don't even see a 4th command center really started. He is getting the 2nd factory, which is good. So more siege tanks, I think, are always going to be good on these smaller maps, for sure. But I don't see much of anything else going on right now for MIHU. The dropships not doing too much either. The 4th gas is up. The 5th gas is up. Not mining yet, but will be soon. Double Sunken's going down, so, you know, he's just kind of stalling everything out at this point. Plagues, Dark Swarms, everything should be coming out of yabsab at this point. MIHU'S army, like, he does have 3-2 upgrades on the way, which is nice, but, you know, obviously we have very good upgrades over on yabsab's side as well. Look at this, the Hydra's just coming up to fight. Yeah, you should not be able to beat Marine Medic with just Hydras, but as soon as you have a Defiler in there, man, it's all over for the Marine Medic. They gotta run. And here comes that Defiler. Of course, the Irradiate right away there. Throws down a couple Dark Storms, but doesn't matter all that much. Okay, now the dropship's going to get a little bit more usage. And unfortunately, I think that this is what he needed to do a few minutes ago. If you look at the map now, right? Let's zoom way out. We can basically see the entire map with the zoom out. Look at this. Overlord, Scourge, Lings. We have an army over here, another base. The center being controlled very strongly with some Lings here. Hydra as well as Defiler here. More Lurkers on that side. It's just there's no way to get dropships through without your opponent seeing. See, he tries to fly him in this way. Well, there's only one Scourge, so he doesn't technically lose it. But where are you going? Yeah, down goes one dropship. This one going to drop on Sunkens and everything, so it's not really doing too much. In the meantime, yabsab going to push forward here. A Plague goes down, Dark Swarms all over the place. Some Firebats are going to come out. The Firebats actually can swing this battle immediately since there's no Lurkers under here. This is almost like... I can't fault yabsab for attacking like this because he's really far ahead, as you can see. Maxed out against 140. But it's almost lazy in a way, right? Like, if you have 2 Lurkers here, he has to irradiate them. It's really the only way to deal with them. But instead, the Lurkers all kind of sitting on the side, and yabsab attacking in with the Hydras, with the Defiler. Very easily microable units. The Lurkers, of course, push everything back. yabsab coming up now. Mass Ultra joining the fray, and there's just no way that MIHU is going to be able to hold on here. Well, maybe if everything splits up a little bit, that'll help. But yeah, with the Darkstorm going down, you're only getting the splash damage from the siege tanks onto these Ultras. The Ultras do back up. They do have that 5 carapace right now, but it is +3 attack, so you can fight against those, but not under Darkstorm, of course. More Darkstorms go into the natural, and MIHU knows that the writing is on the wall at this point. Just not very much left over for him to do. You know, I think that a lot of this comes down to yabsab's early harassment and MIHU not kind of altering his strategy to adjust for the amount of damage taken, right? Like, I think the 2 starport play was really janky. He never really got anything going on. He tried to go into dropships with it, which I think was him trying to save his weak position, and that didn't do anything either. And now you see Ultras all over these barracks, and MIHU definitely going to be losing game 1. But don't forget, it is a best of 3. GG. Yabsab wins game 1.